Hi, my name is Cameron Carlson with AnimeOnLocation.tv. I'm here at Matsuricon 2024 with my good pal, Mr. Michael Sinterniklaas.
Easy for you to say. I think I've said that before.
Alrighty, so as you can tell, we're doing jazz hands over here because we have no pre-scripted questions for this one. But I did look up the last time we had the chance to talk to you was at OhioCon 2023 when you were promoting Belle.
Yes. Oh, sweet, sweet Belle. Belle, and then, wait, did we talk about... No,
You had the actress that did Belle with you.
Yes. Me and Kylie were both interviewing with you. Yes, I remember that vividly.
We were up there in the fun lights looking down.
Yep. Above it all. Yep.
So have you been in the last year?
It's been a huge year. This year we did The Boy and the Heron, which won an Oscar, and we did some new shows for Disney. Disney's first ever simuldub, which was the new Code Geass.
Yes, we can talk about that, yeah.
Go-Go Loser Ranger, and FX's biggest show ever, Shogun.
Yeah. All right. So let's kind of go into a show that I noticed was, like you said, the Code Geass. How did that go?
That was amazing. First of all, Code Geass is a very cool show. It gets full of all these cameos at the end. Spoilers. And that was very fun, expensive, but we got everyone back who is reprising a role. Also, we got a couple of interesting, I don't want to spoil nothing, but a couple of unusual casting choices that I just thought of. One was for the Big Bad. I had this weird idea, and I reached out to an old friend who I'd recently connected with again, television's Dan Green, the voice of Yu-Gi-Oh!
Oh, Dan Green!
Yeah, to be the Big Bad. And he hadn't done anime in a while.
Yeah.
I think the last time he did any anime was actually for us on Mazinger Z for Viz. So it had been over a decade. And then this one weird character, Christoph Scissorman, I thought would be really good for a not really ever in an anime voice actor, but my dad from Venture Brothers, James Urbaniak, and he was extraordinary. So I really think it's a special show. I think the casting's awesome. Lots of cameos for anybody you want to see again, and the show is really, really good. And
well, speaking of Venture Brothers, the movie came out within the last year. How is that going?
Well, going, gone. It makes me sad. I did that for 20 years. 20 years. And then it happened, it got released during a strike, so we couldn't promote it.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I mean, we'd had it like, me and Chris and Doc were all going to wear tuxedos and have a last gentleman's hurrah, do the Comic-Con thing. And then we couldn't. Made me very, very sad. I mean, it was 20 years of doing the thing.
I know.
So, yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, maybe a lot of people have come up to me at the show here and said, like, could there be more? And I'm like, I mean, it's not impossible. It wasn't written to be done. We didn't all die again. So, but now that we have no more clone backup, so it would be the forever death. There's only one left. So, if someone really wanted it, Max could commission something, but they would have to think there's money in their hills.
So, and then again, now speaking about The Boy and the Blue Heron, that's such an all-star cast. I'm so grateful you got to work on that, and I can't wait to watch it. But, the one thing you talk about is always casting to cultural appropriation of that character or using the appropriate voice, like with children. So what was it like when you got to work on The Boy and the Heron, knowing that you were going to have a child actor in this lead role and then win an Oscar?
Well, we didn't know we were going to win no Oscar.
No, just meant looking back at it.
It was extraordinary. I mean, I think we're not appropriating flighted animals since we got, Robert Pattinson, who is also a bat, and a Dracula, to be the heron. So I think that's appropriate, not appropriating. We had a lot of people in it, like Gemma Chan plays the new mom, and Karen Fukuhara plays Lady Himi, and all that kind of stuff is great. And we had Mark
Mark Hamill.
I know. I just like, am I really going to say his whole name? Like Mark Hamill. I got to direct Mark Hamill as a wizard man, which, these are not the droids. He's a wizard. So I think it was really appropriately cast. Luca, it was the first time we ever worked with Luca. And since you brought up Kylie McNeil from Belle, we found him from his agent, but he went to the same school as Kylie. When he came in for his callback, he was like, I went to school with this girl who you worked with. Do you know Kylie McNeil? I was like, do I know Kylie McNeil? Oh my gosh, yeah. Always and Forever Our Belle, Suzu. And so I just was like, wow, this school is this amazing hotbed of talent. And Luca could not have been more wonderful and gracious and down for it. You know, he'd never done a dub like this before.
Yeah.
He'd done a lot of on-camera work.
Yeah, especially for a big film like it.
So I think it was great that he's an on-camera actor and has a lot of stage experience. You know, a lot of those people come from a theater background, so that was awesome. Also, a little funny story since you brought up Belle. Her mother had told me that she'd worked with Christian Bale before, so I mentioned her, and he was like, "Oh, Trini, yeah, wonderful girl. We used to do. We were in Little Women together." And I was like, "Oh," he totally remembered her immediately and told a story about dancing with her and swinging her into a pole, and he's like, "Oh, I thought I broke her." The experience was extraordinary, and we're so lucky to have worked on something that important that so many people wanted to be a part of it. Like Mark generally just records remote these days.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't have to go in, but he volunteered to come in especially because he wanted to do this piece. It's all the justice it could. He made friends with Stephanie's dog, Ippudo.
I was going to say, this was doing it because you guys are dual New York and LA, so it has the opportunity that if you have an LA actor, you can do LA stuff, New York stuff. That's actually, I think, one of the most valuable assets you have with your company.
It's huge. And actually, the other thing about our company is, whereas a smarter business owner would have taken all that space and made more little booths, we have a massive room that affords us the opportunity to record in a way that you can't in a small booth. So Mark came into a room with a theater projection screen, a Stewart perforated screen from a theater. In there, we project the movie to make the movie. We have our big room in New York where Christian Bale came in to record there. Luca and Christian were in New York, and then Karen and Mark and all these people were in L.A. Dave Bautista was in Florida, couldn't come up. Gemma Chan and Florence Pugh were in London, which I wanted to go to, but I couldn't because I literally had Florence, then Robert, right after Christian. So I had to and I was sometimes taking one-day trips between New York and LA because it is valuable to be there in person. I can do remotes. I directed Willem Dafoe from Rome remote, but and I actually. Yeah, well, a lot of people thought he was the Heron.
Because the way the trailer kind of gave it off, I was like, no, I don't think he's the Heron. So yeah.
And to his credit, Robert Pattinson sounds nothing like anything else he's ever done.
Which is great.
At all, energetically, not just vocally. So really transformative and extraordinary. There was one take, since he had just done The Lighthouse with Willem, where he got into a real heavy, talk like a pirate take, I'm the Heron. And at some point, he turned around and looked at me and went, "Oh, I'm sounding a bit like Willem now, aren't I?" Very cute. And everyone was extraordinary. You know, everyone was so gracious. And literally, these are some of the greatest actors in the world saying, "Just tell me what you need me to do. I'll do whatever you want."
And you're just I'm a guy who literally makes funny cartoons from Japan be funnier, or I'm literally being destroyed multiple times in a row by my dad and being recloned. So for you, it's Jesus, this is just was probably oh, I don't know what I'm doing by life.
It's interesting because the hardest part of all that is I love playing with actors, and great actors are great to play with. The hardest part is trying to get into the head of Hayao Miyazaki and do it service. I will say this film, more than anything else I've ever done or probably ever will, made me check my interpretation. Human beings will see something and just react to it, whatever it is. A splotch, a Jackson Pollock painting will make you feel about your mother or school or whatever, because people interpret. It was very important to me that I not try to put my thumb on the scale of what Hayao Miyazaki was trying to say to people. I really want to make the same experience for people watching it dubbed so they can enjoy the visual spectacle and not just read subtitles, which, by the way, I always say, subs are not necessarily more accurate. They have to be interpreted by a person, and then they have to be truncated so they can clear the screen faster. So you might miss something. There's a lot that went into this. And actually, Ghibli approved of our dub so much, they re-released the English version theatrically in Japan. So that's a pretty good seal of approval. I do recommend seeing it both ways. You'll get something different out of each version. You have to see the original. But more than anything I've ever done, I tried to take my thumb off the scale of trying to make sense out of anything that I thought was confusing or my version of what it means to my mother and loss. Everyone's going to have their own experience, and it's such a Rorschach test. People that I've talked to about this movie all have a completely unique experience about what it meant to them. And it's fascinating to hear people talk about. To me, I got blah, 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 and it's completely different from every other individual story I've heard. It's not just oh yeah, it's cool because, and then you hear the same old answer. Everyone really took something unique out of this film, and it really speaks to his ability to get into your unconscious and stream from his which is magnificent, especially for animation, which I consider to be the most constructed and deliberate art form. There's no accidents. There's no something walking by in the background, like someone's about to. In animation, a piece of garbage doesn't hit the ground unless it was conceived, written, scripted, boarded, timed, colored, inked, shaded, like rendered. So I think that's a magnificent skill that is wonderful that we get to see a master, after all this time being a master, continue to master. Guillermo del Toro announced the film when it premiered at Toronto.
Yes.
And said, we are so fortunate to be living in a time when Mozart is still composing and conducting. Yeah.
No, I mean, I love Miyazaki's work. So real quick, let's talk about the kind of the fun parody Power Rangers show you got to work on. How did that go?
Go-Go Loser Ranger is amazing and deep. When we first got it, the producer was like, I saw it and went, I think something weird's going to happen, but all we saw was the first episode. Yeah. And they're like, well, we think it's, standard hero, whatever. And I was like, I think something else will happen. So because we had no more episodes and we couldn't get like a show Bible or anything about it, we bought all the manga and started going, holy crap, wait, what? Oh my God, it's the boys with Sentai. And so that helped us do the first episode, which was still kind of blind, but for knowing where the manga goes. We had some weird ideas also for the monsters, for the fighters. I got in Jack DeSena, who's from Avatar, and we worked with him on Lego Monkey Kid. Okay. To be like, he's never did anime before.
See, that's the fun part, when you get these brand new people that
yeah.
do anime to come on.
To do some really fresh, really funny stuff. And because they're all, like 13-year-old babies, they were manifested as fully formed fighters, and now they've just been running without adult supervision for 13 years. So they're kind of dumb. And it was really fun to have that experience. I don't think that's how that works. Parker Simmons is a friend that I had directed Mau Mau with. He's the creator of Mau Mau, the voice of Mau Mau. And he got to come and do some fighters. So funny, great voice. But these are not like normal like dubbing people. So that was really fun. I got to be a really fun ranger whose story will develop more in the next season, according to the manga. Hope we get to work on it. But it was so fun to do that. And the show is surprisingly brutal sometimes. Yeah. It's really shocking. I highly recommend it.
Yeah. So we're going to wrap things up really quick. Now, I always know this question trips you up. Anything you want to talk about right now that's not behind an NDA, behind the strike, blah, 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 that type of stuff?
Yeah, well, I'm not working on games right now because of the strike. We're doing a couple movies for G Kids. Yes. Watch their space. One from the director of A Silent Voice, which is, she's amazing. And then one that they actually helped produce, Ghost Cat Onzu. Those are both really cute movies. We're doing more stuff for Disney, so you'll see it on Hulu, but I can't talk about it. Yeah. And I feel like there's other stuff. Boy and the Heron just came out on home video. Not long before that, Slam Dunk, the first Slam Dunk came out. Oh, another movie we did, which is incredible, because years ago I did a series called The Last Man. No one's seen it because it was on Verve, and then they got swallowed up by someone else, and no one knows where that license is. But I love Jeremy, that French director. He did a movie that G Kids distributed that we did called Mars Express. It's really cool. It's giving like Blade Runner, Cyberpunk, a little bit of Ghost in the Shell, but also it's a smart French anime. It's really good. That'll be on home video real soon too. So Slam Dunk, Boy and the Heron just came out on home video, or home entertainment, because it's not video anymore. Yeah. It's entertainment. Home content distribution channel. Beep, boop, boop, beep. But Mars Express is really, really good. And it was only released theatrically in English with our dub. It's great.
And then real quick, it is MS Word Online to find you everywhere on social media, right?
Sort of. I should have been more consistent. MCinter on Twitter, X, which is what I'm mostly on because I'm that old. And then Instagram, which I should do more of, and I always say I'm gonna, is MS Word. Not M Sword or Miss Word. It's MS Word, my initials, and Word. If I had been a DJ...
Which is actually what we're about ready to interview.
Really?
They're all behind you.
Oh, go get them DJs. Porty. Ewe. Cats and boots and cats and boots.
Alrighty, Michael. I love having you so much. This is great to just do an off script with you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, man. Good seeing you.